Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing something completely different than what I usually do. So in today's video, I'm going to be comparing some base color, pre-colored gel extension nail tips. So I have 4 different full cover soft gel nail tips. These ones are already pre-colored, and I'm going to be comparing them in today's video. Before I get any further, I do quickly want to say that this is all just my personal opinion and how I feel about each one of these specific nail tips. Everyone always has their own opinion. Everyone can value everybody's opinion. I wanted to make this video to help you guys, but not only that, I was very curious to compare all 4 of these different nail tips and just kind of see how they compare to each other, how they are different, their similarities, and just I wanted to overall see everything about these nail tips. This is something that I've been really wanting to do for myself, but not only that, I wanted to make a video out of it. That way, this video can possibly help some of you guys decide whether or not you should purchase this brand or this brand. Now, in today's video, I am only going to be comparing 4 different nail tips. These are just some of the pre-colored nail tips that I have used on my channel. I do also want to do this comparison using clear full cover nail tips. Recently, as you guys know, I've been obsessed with gel extensions or the Gel X method. I've been doing a lot of videos, so I've been using a lot of different nail tips. So this time around, because I've really been loving the pre-colored ones, I am just going to be seeing who has the best colored nail tips in my opinion, again, just so everyone's aware of that. But I am going to be breaking everything down, showing all 4 of these nail tips, and I want to let you all know if you do enjoy this video, let me know down below in the comment section if you want to see more videos like this, maybe comparing clear nail tips, builder gels, acrylic powders, dip powders, anything like that. Feel free to let me know in the comment section. I'd love to do more videos like this. I had a lot of fun trying this one out. So I am going to have a rubric that I'm following and scoring all of these nail tips. So I'm going to be using the same rubric for all 4 brands. The rubric is going to be the price, packaging, strength, and sizing of the nail tips. So for the price, are the nail tips worth the price, the number of tips in the box or bag? The strength, it's going to be the strength of the nails, the cuticle area, the free edge. Can I bend the nail in half and it will go back to the original shape? For the sizing, is there a good range of sizes to fit most or everyone? How many sizes are there? And I am just going to be using that rubric for each of the different brands. I am going to be doing it out of 5, so a perfect score would be 20. So we will add everything up and I'll talk about the winner and all of that at the very end of the video, so make sure you stick around. Also stick around because I'm going to be going really in depth and talking about each of these brands of nail tips throughout the entire video. So definitely you want to make sure you're watching the video all the way through, especially if you're struggling if the nail tips are good quality, high quality, or if the nail tips are going to fit you. That intro got a little long, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys kind of understood everything and what I was going to be talking about and all of that. Again, before I start saying anything, I just want to say one last time, this is just my own personal opinion. You guys could go out, purchase all 4 of these brands of nail tips, compare them yourself, and when you repurchase, you could repurchase the ones that you think are the best quality in your own personal opinion. So we're going to start off with these Model 1s Prep Soft Gel Nail Tips. And just taking a look at the packaging first and foremost, the packaging is not the best. I like how they still have their logo. You can tell that they took time on their packaging, but I am always a sucker for when the nail tips come in boxes. The nail tips here, they're like just on the strip that the manufacturer, like the way the nail tips were made, which really isn't a problem. I prefer this over the little baggies of nail tips. So I mean, I do give it that just because it is still a lot easier to size out the nail tips. If these nail tips were in baggies, the rating would definitely be a lot lower than it's going to be. But overall, I don't care for this packaging, but it isn't a big deal. It's still very easy to store in the original packaging. It is also still very easy to get the nail tips sized out. So for the packaging, these Model 1's nail tips, I am going to give it a 4. Moving on to the strength of the nails, I did pull one of the nails off here. You can see that these nails are very thin, and I feel like, yes, of course, we want it thin near the cuticle area, but near the free edge, I felt like these nail tips were just a little too thin. Now, for the nail tip, it does have that pre-etched underside, which I do really like. Bending the nail in half, having that white line appear, and bending that white line back out is kind of like my little strength test. And for this nail tip, when I bent the nail in half, that white line appeared. I did have trouble getting it back to the original shape before I bent the nail tip in half. So I feel like that is a pretty good indicator that these Model 1's nail tips are just a little too thin. Now, I'm not going to dock too many points for that just because it is still a good quality nail tip. It probably is just one of the thinnest nail tips, and out of all four, the Model 1's is the thinnest. It's just the most flexible. It is very like bendable, and I felt like it really wouldn't hold up that long. More than likely it will chip or break, especially if you don't add on an extra layer of builder gel. So for the strength, I am giving these Model 1's nail tips a 3. Moving on to the price. For the price of these Model 1's nail tips, we do get 240 pieces, and currently the price on Amazon is $4.99. I tried looking on the Model 1's website, but I just couldn't find these nail tips. I was having a really hard time, and I don't really like using Amazon pricing just because it does change around a lot. It increases, it goes down, it decreases. So really the price is kind of hard to say, but currently right now they are $4.99 on Amazon, and they aren't currently on sale. So I'm pretty sure that these Model 1's nail tips are only $4.99, which is absolutely insane. I mean, then again, comparing the quality to the price, you have to think about that. But for the price, I'm definitely giving it a 5 just because that is an ultra affordable price. Now coming to the sizing. For these nail tips, we do have 240 nail tips like I mentioned, and there are 12 different sizes. I feel like most companies do only offer 10 sizes, so I do really appreciate that these nail tips do offer 2 extra sizes. Now for my nail tips, I am able to size these out, of course, to fit all of my fingers. And for the thumb, it's a size 2. For the index, I'm a size 7. For my middle and my ring finger, I am a size 6. And then for my pinky, I'm a size 10 in these nail tips. I will say around the cuticle area, they do need a little bit of filing and work to them if I really want them to fit me perfectly. But I'm not going to dock anything on sizing for that, just because I feel like overall, to have a really perfect fit, you should be filing any nail tip, no matter the quality of it, just because it is going to look a lot nicer and it's going to customize it more to you. So for the sizing, I was able to find on Model 1's the actual like millimeter sizes for all of the nail tip sizes that they offer. So of course I will have had that popped up on screen just so you guys can see that and get a closer look. For the sizing, I am giving it a 4 because overall I think it is pretty good sizing, and of course I can size out all of my nail tips. but everything, I mean, I'm not sure, again, if these are going to fit everybody. It's probably very rare that they will fit everybody, but I do like the sizes that they offer. And I feel like 4 is a very good score for that, especially because they do offer the size guide where you can definitely check that out before purchasing the nail tips. So that is everything from the rubric. I'm now just going in here. I did add this footage in just because I knew I was going to be talking a lot about these nail tips, and I wanted to add this footage in of me actually applying the nails. That way we could apply each of these nails because I'm not actually doing a complete nail set today. I am just going to be applying all 4 of these nail tips just so you can see how they look on the hand and just get an overall idea for how nice they apply. I will say for all 4 of the nail tips that I applied, I didn't do any customization to the actual nail tip. I just wanted to mention that I just went in and directly applied them. Once I did have them applied, I did the same thing to all of them. I applied them, I cured them, and then I also did go in with my hand file to straighten out the free edge. I used my E-file with my 5-in-1 drill bit to go around the cuticle to seal in the cuticle and remove any spillage. I also went in with a buffer to remove the shine from the nail tip. I brushed away all of the nail dust, and then I did go in with a top coat. For each brand, when it does come to applying them and applying the top coat, I will always use the specific brand glue gel and also top coat just to really get the best result and use the brand's products with the actual products that they should go with, just because I feel like you do get a better result when you're using the brand's products together, using everything as one. So here is the Model 1's nail tips on my hand. If you do notice any like air pockets in the nails, I do have a peel off base coat applied, and because I was doing so many different nail sets, I didn't want to keep popping off the nails and fixing that issue, especially because I wasn't really doing this for the looks. I just kind of wanted to overall showcase how they would look on my natural nails. So I do apologize for that. That has nothing to do with any of the quality of the nail tips. It is just because I had a peel off base coat on and the nail tips wanted to pop off. So that was everything for the Model 1's nail tips. I will be saying the total at the end of the video, but now we are jumping right into the Beetles pre-colored nail tips. Starting off with the packaging. Again, the packaging isn't 100%, but it still is not terrible to me. It is a lot better than the nail tips coming in baggies. I feel like even though these are just like the manufacturer strip and the nail tips are all in one, it isn't anything spectacular. It still makes sizing out your nail tips a lot easier than if they were to come in baggies. So really, I don't have a huge issue with this. I just feel like it is always more of a luxury if the nail tips do come with a box. So for the packaging, I am going to give it a 4, just because, like I said, it isn't 100%, but it still is not terrible where I should dock it any lower than a 4. So now we're going to jump in to the strength of the nail tip. Overall, the strength of these nails are really nice. I also do want to mention that the top side of the nail is pre-buffed and the underside of the nail is also pre-etched. So these are a full matte nail tip, and I do really like that. The cuticle area, in my opinion, I feel like it is perfect. I love the cuticle area of these nails. The free edge, it also is a lot thicker than the Model 1's, but it is still very easy to bend. But once you have on your top coat, your gel polish, I feel like with these nail tips, they are really good quality, especially a step up from the Model 1's. I was also able to bend the nail in half, have that white line appear, and then I was able to bend it back to its original shape. Near the cuticle area, just like the Model 1's, it did leave a little bit of a lump, but after messing around with it a little bit, I was able to remove the little lump, versus with the Model 1's, messing around with it, I wasn't able to get rid of the little bump on the cuticle area of the nail, but with these ones I definitely was able to. So for the strength, I am going to give it a 4 because overall I felt like the strength was really good. Now for the price of these nail tips. So again, the price is from the Beetles nail tips being on Amazon. Like I said, with the Model 1s, the price will fluctuate. It will increase, it will decrease. So it is really hard for me to give you a price that is going to stay the same. But as of right now, these nail tips are $9.99 on Amazon. They are not discounted. That is just the regular price, and we do get 240 nail tips. Overall, I feel like $9.99 for 240 nail tips. They're pre-colored and you can apply them using gel. I feel like that's another super great price. So I'm not going to dock any points for the price. I mean, even though the quality isn't completely perfect, the free edge was still easy to bend like I showed you guys. But overall, the price for that, I think it's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and give the price 5 just because I think that is super affordable and these nail tips are great for the price. Moving on to the sizing. For these nail tips, I can of course size out all of my fingers. My thumbnail is a size 2, my index and my ring finger are both a size 7, my middle finger is a size 6, and for my pinky, I'm a 9.5. So with the sizes for these Beetle nail tips, there are 15 sizes, which I think is amazing. That right there, having 15 sizes, 5 extra sizes than most nail tips, that gives it a 5 right away in my book. I think that's so amazing, especially because they offer half sizes. I feel like some nail tips you can really struggle with either your thumbs being too large or your pinkies being too small, not being able to find a correct nail size to fit you. So that they offer 15 sizes, that's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and give the sizing a 5 just because I think that is really good and I'm sure most people will be able to find their correct sizes with these nail tips. I will of course also have popped up the millimeters of all 15 sizes. That way you can check it out and just have a little bit more reference to the actual sizing of these Beetles nail tips. So I am going in and applying them like I said, and then I will be showing the finished result of how these nails look on my hand. And I'm just going to go ahead and let this play out, and then I will hop back on just to finish off the end result of the nails. So here are the Beetles colored nail tips applied. I love these so much. Something I will say about the Beetles and the Model 1's nail tips, they are both intended to be applied with gel, but I did notice compared to using when it came time to the Daily Charme and the Kiara Sky, doing my flash cures with the Beetles and Model 1's nail tips, I really did notice that it did take a lot longer. The gel still cured fully and I was able to see that because I had my peel off base coat applied. I removed the nails. So with the Model 1s and the Beetles, everything did cure fully, but I just wanted to mention that I feel like they are a little bit more opaque than the Daily Charme and Kiara Sky nail tips, because doing my flash cures, I was really needing to hold the nail tip in place a lot longer. And I know that can be super difficult, especially for a beginner, because when you are holding the nail tip there, it can get very hard to keep it in place, making sure you don't have any bubbles before the flash cure is complete and the nail tip will stay put where it's at. So I did just want to mention that, something I didn't really want to include in the rubric, but something I did overall want to mention just because I took notice to it, because I was applying all 4 of these nail tips directly in a row, and it's something I haven't noticed ever before just because I'm usually only applying these nail tips 1 a day or something like that, not doing it all 4 at once. So It's something that probably most people wouldn't notice unless they're really testing out and doing a type of video like I'm doing here. So I did just want to mention that. We are now on to the Daily Charm nail tips. I do quickly want to mention for these ones, it is a long length, and for the Beetles, Kiara Sky, Modelones, they were all more of a medium coffin. For the Daily Charm, I thought I had the medium length, but I realized I did not, and I didn't want to push this video off any longer. So just keep in mind for reference, these ones are the long. I don't think that should affect anything just because they are the exact same nail tips from Daily Charm. You can just purchase them in a medium or a long length. But now to the rubric for the packaging, I am straight up giving it a 5. I love this packaging. Number one, I love how it comes in a box. If it comes in a box, more than likely it is going to get a 5 just because it makes having the nail tips super convenient. You have the box, you can reuse the box for other nail tips. I also absolutely love that the shape, the length, and the color is on the box. With the Beetles and the Modelones, they did not have the color, the length, the shape listed anywhere on the box, I don't believe, and I do not like that, especially having the color available on the box or the length on the box. That is super helpful, especially for me when I am finding the items to link in the description or finding or talking about the items to you guys to give you the correct length or the color. So definitely having the Daily Charm ones have that listed on the box. They deserve a 5 for the packaging. Not only that, but when you open up the box, on the inside, it has the instructions on how to apply the nail tips. It also has the measurements for the nail tips that you can see right on the inside of the box. I feel like that is just so amazing. It can really help you size out your nail tips, and I feel like the boxes just give a very pleasing look to them. They're super easy to store. Like I said, they are also fully reusable. Daily Charm also does offer refill packs on their website, so it's great that you can purchase the box, and then most of us only use a couple of sizes. So when you do run out of a size, you can purchase a refill pack and then just pop it right into the missing spot in the box. So in my opinion, for Daily Charm packaging, it does deserve a 5. We're now moving on to the strength. I will say the strength of these nails, the free edge was the hardest to bend, and also I would say the thickest, of course, because it's the hardest. So these ones definitely win the strength test by far. I was having troubles bending this nail tip. The free edge is just very strong. You can tell that it is truly a good quality nail tip. The cuticle area though is still thin and seamless, so that when you apply it, you still get that very flawless look and application, more natural looking. And when I was just bending the nail, I was so surprised with that free edge, just trying to bend the free edge and in general bending the nail in half. It was also a little tricky to do, but I was able to bend the nail in half. I had that white line up here, and then I was able to bend it right back into its original shape with no white line, no bumps or lumps. Everything went right back to its original shape. So the strength, it is amazing for these nail tips. They are definitely going to hold up. Even if you do go in with an extra layer of a strengthening gel, a builder gel on top, the nail tips are just going to last you even longer and be even stronger. So for the strength, you guys probably already guessed it just by seeing that strength test, but I am going to give it a 5. Now for the sizing, the Daily Charm sizing, I love the way they do it. Like I said about having the sizing on the box, that just makes things super easy for the customer purchasing the product because you can size your nail beds and make sure the size and the tips are going to fit you before purchasing. So I feel like that is really nice, and it is also available on the website. You don't have to purchase a box of nail tips first to be able to see that. For the Daily Charm nail tips, I am of course able to size out all of my nails. My thumb is a size 1, my index and my ring finger are both a size 6, my middle finger is a size 5, and my pinky is a size 8. So again, all of these nail tips do fit me. I can size out all of my fingers, and of course, also just having that size guide, I feel like it is just super helpful, especially if you do struggle with your nail tips being too big or too small. You are able to just take a look at that before purchasing the nail tips. So for the sizing, I am going to give it a 5. I did get a little carried away and completely forgot to do the price for some reason, but we're jumping back to the price. Now the price of these Daily Charm nail tips, I will say it's a pretty big jump from the Beetles and the Model Ones. These nail tips are $29.99, but we do get 550 nail tips versus 240 nail tips. So that is something to definitely look at. Another thing is we get the box instead of just a cardboard box. So you can reuse the box. So I feel like getting 550 nail tips, also receiving a box for your nail tips to go in, I feel like that has a lot to do with why the price point did jump up so steep. Another thing, you are pretty much paying for a brand. Daily Charm is a very big brand versus if you're buying a designer piece of clothing versus just something from a more basic store. You are paying more for the name, the brand. So that is also something to think about. For the quality of these nail tips, the box that you receive them in, the strength, the sizing, being able to make sure they're going to fit you before purchasing them, I feel like the price is still pretty good at where it's set at. And I will go ahead and give the rating of 4.5 because I feel like the price isn't extremely expensive for these nail tips. 550 nail tips will last you a long time. Also, to think about it, if you go to the salon and get your nails done once, you are going to be still paying a lot more than $30 just to have one nail set done and walk out with just that versus having these nail tips. So that's kind of the way I was looking at it a little bit, and I still feel like the price for these is pretty fair. Here are how the nails look once I have them applied. They look absolutely beautiful. I love them so much. I think the color, another thing to think about, they are long coffin instead of medium coffin like the other ones, but Daily Charm does also offer medium coffin blush nail tips on their website. I just didn't have those. I thought I did, but these look so good. They felt so nice on me. The free edge was just super sturdy. It felt very strong, and also just around the cuticle, just like the other ones, just really giving a flawless and seamless application. Just definitely the strength on these ones was a little bit stronger than the previous Beetles and Model ones. I feel like I have been talking so much, and I am so glad that we are finally on the last nail tip comparison. So these ones are the Kiara Sky Cover Jelly Tips. Starting off with the packaging, I love this packaging. I love how the label kind of complements the color of nail tip, again with the coffin medium. The shade color, these ones are blooming. You kind of get a little look at what the nail tip's going to look like. It has the Kiara Sky like name, the jelly tips. We also have the KS logo embossed. On the back side, they also included a sticker with some like a little paragraph on it. So I feel like overall the packaging, it had some time put into it. Also, when you do pick out a different color of these Kiara Sky nail tips, the colored sticker will change to like again complement the color of the nail tips. Of course, these nail tips also come in a box as well, so that is really nice, and them coming in a box just makes me want to give it a 5. The box is reusable. I do really like that, just like I did with the Daily Charm ones. So for the packaging, yes, I am going to give it a rating of a 5. We're now moving into the strength of these nail tips. Overall, looking at these nail tips, the free edge is a lot thinner than the Daily Charm free edge in my opinion. I also feel that the nail tips in general aren't as strong as the Daily Charme ones, but they have a free edge that still is hard to bend. The cuticle area, it is thinner, so it makes applying the nail tips giving that seamless and flawless look. Also, with the white line down the center, just kind of doing this little strength test, I was able to have that white line appear, and I was quickly and easily able to bring this nail tip back to its original shape. I feel like with that white line, I was honestly able to bend it back quicker and easier versus the Daily Charme nail tips. But I feel like with the Daily Charm, they are just a little bit stronger than these ones near the free edge of the nail. But yes, for the strength, I'm going to give it another 5. I feel like the strength is really good on these nail tips. We are now going to talk about the price. For the price of these nail tips, it is a whopping $34.99, and we get a total of 500 different nail tips. So again, Kiara Sky, it is a professional nail brand. Keep that in mind. It is a huge company, and they are more focused towards professionals versus DIYers. Not that a DIYer cannot purchase from them, but that is a big reason why the price point is so high for this product, just because they really take the time and put quality into their products and make sure everything is top notch, because they know professionals are going to be buying their products and using their products. You are also paying for a brand name, again, just like I said with Daily Charme. Just because they do have such a large following, that is why they can increase the price a little bit and still get people to buy their products because they are so popular. So that is something to think about. With the higher price, I am still going to give it a 4, just because I feel like the quality, the packaging, everything does still add up to the value of the price. Now, I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with me on that, just because it is more of a bougier, expensive item versus the $4.99 Model 1's nail tips, but you are getting 500 versus 240 nail tips. You're getting the brand name, you're getting the box, and also just in general the quality of the nail tips. So that is something just to keep in mind, but I did give the price a 4. Moving on to the sizing. For the nail tip sizing, I was able to get out all of my sizes. My thumb is a size 2, my index is a size 6, my middle and my ring are both a size 5, and for my pinky, it is a size 8. The sizing, I feel like I do need to file these nail tips a little bit. I don't love their sizing. I feel like their sizing kind of jumps around a little bit, but I can still size out my nail tips and still get a perfect fit, especially with just maybe even a little bit of filing. So I am going to give their sizing a 4.5. Something I did notice, I couldn't find anywhere the actual sizing for these nail tips, so I did have to talk to my Kiara Sky PR, and I was able to get the sizing from her, and I will be sharing that with you guys on screen. But I do wish that they made it more open to the public. That way you could size out your nail tips, see if they're going to fit you before purchasing them. So I am really happy that I was able to get the sizing information from her, just that way I could share it with you guys, because I know it can be super helpful, and I hope that eventually Kiara Sky will post that up on their website. I could not find it. I don't know if it's there. It may possibly be, but I just could not find it. So it would be really nice that if they do not have that, they will post it up on their website so more people can take a look at these nail tips and know they are going to fit them before making the big purchase. And finally, here are the Kiara Sky nail tips, how they look on. Like I mentioned with the Beetles and the Model 1's nail tips, for the flash cure, I definitely had a lot longer of a flash cure. They were taking longer to cure. For the Daily Charm and Kiara Sky, I felt like with the flash cure, it was like I was curing clear gel tips. It was super quick, super easy. So I feel like whatever material the Daily Charm and Kiara Sky nail tips are made out of, they just really have it absolutely perfect with the flash cures, being able to reach the light through and cure the gel very quickly while holding it in place. I feel like that is something very crucial, like I said, especially for a beginner. Holding that nail tip in place for a flash cure, it can be very difficult, making sure you don't move the nail around, making sure no bubbles appear, making sure you don't shift the nail to make it crooked. So I feel like personally, if you struggle with that, I would go with the Daily Charm or Kiara Sky just because of that issue. But overall, they all do cure completely. I didn't have any issues with curing other than that, but all of the gel did cure fine through all of these nail tips. So now let's talk about it. Let's break everything down for the rubric here. So Daily Charm is the first place winner. They received a 19.5. Again, all of this is just my own opinion. Keep that in mind. It was all just kind of following my rubric that I planned out with the price, packaging, strength, and the sizing, doing a couple little tests. And for the Daily Charm, they did, winning a total of 19.5, 0.5 off from a perfect score, which I thought was pretty insane. I do love these nail tips, honestly. From this rating and from just overall in general, I would have to say they are my favorite. Being favorites, though, didn't go into anything like with the winning or how I was rating anything. I was doing it very unbiased and just actually looking at the little tests I was doing. For the second place, it is the Kiara Sky, getting an 18.5, but I will say that third place is Beetles, and they received an 18. So Kiara Sky is only winning by 0.5. So that's something to think about. Beetles and the Kiara Sky nail tips are very close. So it's kind of just about your budget. If you want to go a little bit higher, get a more professional brand, taking a look at the packaging. But yeah, they did just get a 0.5 higher, and I feel like that maybe was the strength or something like that. Just because the Kiara Sky did have a little bit of stronger nails. But overall, this is all just whatever you guys want to buy. Like I said, Beetles did get a score of 18. They got third place. And I feel like overall, if you're going to buy one of the cheaper ones, go with Beetles. I feel like it is a really great dupe for the Kiara Sky cover jelly tips or the Daily Charm colored nail tips. Beetles would compare best with either the Daily Charm or the Kiara Sky, in my personal opinion. The Model 1s, I feel like they really were very low quality. I felt like the Beetles were a lot stronger, and if you want to stick more into a budget-friendly option, definitely go with the Beetles. I felt like they were really great quality. Maybe they'll come out with some different lengths, more colors. Maybe they'll even put the nail tips in the box, which I feel like would even possibly lead them to getting a lot higher of a score, just because that packaging will increase. For the Model 1s, they of course did get fourth place. These ones were the worst ones, I will say that. They got a total score of 16, and I just was not loving the quality of these nail tips. They were not up to par, but then again, the price for only $4.99, you can get a bottle of builder gel, maybe even still keep it under the price for the Beetles nail tips. Apply a few layers of builder gel to these nail tips and definitely strengthen them right up. So it is all kind of just whatever you guys have the budget for if you are more of a DIYer, if you've been doing your nails for a lot longer and you kind of want to try a more well-known brand such as Kiara Sky or Daily Charme and just get something a little bit higher of a value. But like I always say, I feel like either if you're using Amazon nail tips like Beetles Modelones versus if you're using Daily Charme or Kiara Sky, you are still going to get the same end result. Your nails are still going to look salon quality. They're still going to look very pretty, beautiful. You're going to get perfect nails no matter the price point of the nail. What it's going to come down to is whether or not your nails are going to chip, break, bend, just how hard you are on your nails, because it will really depend on the strength. But like I said, you can get a cheap bottle of builder gel and really strengthen up any quality of nail tips. Even if they're the Modelones $4.99 nail tips, you can definitely get a bottle of builder and strengthen them up. So just real quick again, the first place is Daily Charme with a 19.5. The second place is Kiara Sky with an 18.5. The third place is Beetles with an 18, and the fourth place is Modelones with a 16. I will be linking these nail tips down below in the description box. I want to know what you guys' favorite nail tips are, your personal opinions on this. I will be deleting any comments that are rude or hateful. I am just not looking for it. That is one reason why I held off this video for so long. But just remember, we all have our own opinions, and I would love to know you guys' opinions. Also, let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. Like I said in the beginning, I could compare clear nail tips, acrylic powders, builder gels, solid glue gels. I would love to do more videos like this if you guys are enjoying this video. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.